Man, I feel so dumb. I've caught us back up to speed by going back and repeating the Beauty and the Beast event. Yay. Thankfully, I was able to skip through all the dialogue, and it was very fast. But I went back, I collected the baby's tears in the lamp. I poured the vial in the lamp. I've collected the falling water from the fountain in the lamp. I re-grabbed the bottle of milk, which I doubt we'll need. It's probably a red herring, but I did anyway. And this time I also grabbed another white flower. I thought it'd probably let us. It did, so hey, it might be useful. I doubt it. I looked at the book of spells to see what I did wrong, and I'm a dumb dummy. So it's not enough just to have the ingredients. You've got to cast the damn spell. So speak incantation over teapot to enchant, then heat it. This is what we didn't do. We didn't cast this clouds of thunder, shafts of light. Come and sup with me tonight. Waters 3 have I for tea. Brew a tempest now for me.
Alexander prepares to enchant the hunter's lamp with the Make Rain spell incantation.
Clouds of thunder, shafts of light. Come and sup with me tonight. Waters 3 have I for tea. Brew a tempest now for me.
Where did he learn to do this little swirly move?
The lamp in Alexander's hand gives a little perk. He hopes the spell works despite his makeshift teapot.
I am sure it will work now, and we have a save right before this, so we're good to go. We're gonna head to the Isle of Mists, and this time we are gonna succeed. I imagine if you've played this game and you know what you're doing and you're watching this and you probably were chuckling to yourself a little bit like, oh, he's really going to go without using the spell. Hey, man, it's all a learning process. But as long as you're entertained, it doesn't matter to me why you're entertained.
Alexander...
I really thought this game would be a lot harder than it's been so far, to be honest. Isle of
Alexander
Mist.
feels a...
Here we go. Okay, skipping.
Not again.
Not again.
Alexander, we've... Oh, this...
What?
Alright, hoist me up there, sir.
And the cage is swung
Come
out over the
on,
bonfire.
spell! Come sup with me tonight!
Alexander starts to feel a little warm. The bottom of the cage is getting uncomfortably hot.
Mm-hmm.
This cage is really hot.
That's different.
Fire in the cage.
This is different.
Alexander pulls out Beauty's old slave clothes, desperate to beat out the flames. The flame is extinguished, but the clothes themselves burn to cinders. Alexander won't be able to keep the cage from igniting for long.
Okay.
The heat and movement must have jarred something. Something that Alexander's carrying is starting to jiggle around.
Uh-huh.
Egad, something's really percolating. The water in Alexander's lamp is hot. It's just about...
That would burn
boiling.
your hand, dude, if you held that lamp right now.
Alexander feels a drop. It starts to rain.
Yay! Finally.
That man is a powerful nature wizard. By the sacred oak, let him down!
Wow, what? Later after a short but furious thunderstorm. We've not seen any
I
kind of
must
text like that
apologize
before.
for our rude welcoming committee. We've been feeling inhospitable ever since the winged ones stole our sacred miniature oak tree. Besides, Wizir Al-Hazred sent a message that we were to watch out for a highly dangerous foreign assassin. I assume you are the one he meant.
I'm sure
That's
I'm
me.
precisely who he meant. I assure you, I mean to harm no one, unless that person threatens the princess. I'm sorry to have disrupted your ceremony, but I'm running out of time.
What is it that you seek?
The Oracle on the Isle of the Sacred Mountain told me I should speak to you about the realm of the dead. She told me of 2 souls in unrest there that I might be able to free.
Free souls in the realm of the dead? You're mad.
The souls might be able to help me on my mission to save the princess. It's imperative that I do everything I can. The risks are not important.
No. And yet getting yourself killed will hardly help the princess. But I will tell you what I know.
Good.
Legend has it that it is the right of any human to challenge the Lord of the Dead in order to save his own life or the life of another already past. But the knowledge of how to do this was lost centuries ago. I have only heard of one who tried it, a young knight who came to the land of the Green Isles from a distant land long ago. According to the story, he was determined to challenge the Lord of the Dead for the soul of his dead lover. It is said that he tamed the Lord of the Dead's horse, a black-winged, demon-hearted beast named Nightmare. Nightmare sometimes flies to the human world to feed on certain noxious plants. Those unfortunate enough to see her are glad to escape with their very souls intact. Somehow, the knight captured Nightmare and rode off on her back, supposedly to the realm of the dead. But neither the knight nor his lover ever returned. If there was a means for challenge, it was lost with the knight.
I see. Can you tell me anything about the Lord of the Dead?
That is a blacker matter still. To the druids, he is Samhain, lord of coldness and despair. Samhain was once a man like you or I, but he insulted the gods and was sentenced to rule the underworld. Immortal he is and mateless, robbed of sleep, robbed of movement, robbed of companionship. It is said that he hates all mortals even more for the mortality that he lost. That is all I know.
Interesting. I shall remember.
Now look how the oak embers of our bonfire still glow hot despite the rain. If you're bent on your course, you'll need courage that's just as impervious to the chill. May your luck last longer than your storm, brave one.
May it indeed. Thank you, Archdruid.
Lots of good info there. Interesting stuff. I really do like this game. It's very cool. I had already put together when I saw these on my own that we would need to collect them for one of our spells. So let's take a look at that. And this is it's the spell relating to the night creature, a creature of the night. Nightmare. Okay, so we need a skull full of hot oak embers. Well, we got a skull. We can now get the embers somehow. And we already got the maiden's hair. We just don't have the sulfur. Add hair and brimstone to skull of embers. In presence of creature, speak incantation over skull. Okay. I don't think he's just going to pick it up. But I'm not just going to try that. I'm going to make a save before we get ourselves killed. I like this music here. That's pretty cool. After druids.
Alexander has already had enough close contact with that fire.
True that. Can we just dip the skull in there? I doubt it, but we'll see.
Alexander scoops up some of the red-hot embers in the ancient human skull.
So we just need the sulfur. Oh, look at that skull. That's cool.
Alexander is carrying a human skull filled with embers. The embers are glowing with heat.
Hopefully that doesn't time out. I don't think that it would.
The wicker cage that was to be Alexander's fiery coffin is now lying on the ground. Alexander is glad to be out of that cage. Alexander is standing in a circle of giant stones. He marvels at the complex yet simple design of the standing monoliths. Alexander wants nothing more to do with that wicker cage.
You and me both. Well, let's get out of here. I don't know how much more of the game is left, but I feel like we've made a lot of progress. And what I thought was going to happen on this island, the one little bit that I thought was going to happen, has not.
The Druids, exhausted after the bonfire festivities, are asleep in their treehouses. Alexander doesn't need to disturb them.
Fair enough. Is this a basket right here?
There's nothing to do there.
Okay. I'll take your word. Wait.
Alexander has already taken one lump of coal from the pit. He ought to leave the rest for the inhabitants of the tree village.
Okay. Well, you'll take another flour and you'll take another bottle of milk, but you won't take a lump of coal. Odd place to draw the line. We're done here, guys. Fantastic. So we need some sulfur. The hell are we gonna get sulfur? I don't know. I honestly don't know what we need to do next. I will say up front that I believe I know what we do with the mirror, which kind of sucks because I think that might have been a more interesting puzzle to try to figure out on my own. That's just something I remember from the past. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're just going to have to go around exploring and find more stuff to get into. But it's been an interesting adventure we had here. Things are kind of heating up. We're looking for some kind of demon horse and go into the underworld. Sounds interesting. Let's just see if we can figure out how to get there.